morning, students. Welcome to my class. Today we are going to review the reported speech exercise. But at the beginning, we are going to remember the topic of the last class. Okay? So tell me, it's important that you know when do you use reported speech? That's right. We are going to use reported speech when you want to tell someone what another person says. Okay? And can you tell me an example of reported speech? That's right. For example, she says that she likes to dance. Okay, I am reporting what another person says. As I said before, today we are going to review reported speech exercise. And what is the objective for today? To practice the reported speech through an explanation and examples. Okay, so do you remember how do you report questions? Do you remember the parts of the reported speech? Okay, so today we are going to review that in order to reinforce your knowledge, giving an explanation and giving some exercise, okay, and practices. Okay, so pay attention. When do you use reported speech? As I said before, we are going to use reported speech when we tell someone what another person says. Vamos a utilizar reported speech in order to say, para decir lo que otra persona nos dijo. Okay, in this case, we are going to use reported speech in order to report something that another person says. We are going to see the first example, okay? Pay attention. Here we have an example of affirmative sentence, okay? For example, she says, I lose my keys, okay? She thinks that. I am going to report. Remember, we can report in direct way or in indirect way. Remember, we have to use the introductory part. She says. In that part, we are going to put the person who says that. Vamos a poner la persona que lo dijo, okay? So, she says, I lose my keys, okay? Remember here, in that part, we only have to copy the exactly words in order to report in direct way. Para reportar en forma directa, usted solo va a copiar las mismas palabras que la persona dice. Okay? She says, the introductory parts, I lose my keys. Okay, that is simple. In indirect speech, you have to put the same, the introductory phrase, that is the person who says, she in this case, she says that she loses her keys. Okay, in this case I have to change the subject because I am going to report that she said, okay. Por ejemplo, aquí dice, yo pierdo mis llaves. In this case, ella dice que ella perdió sus llaves. Okay, pay attention here. In this case, I am using an extra S because of the subject she. Remember, we have to report in present simple. Okay, so remember the rules of the present simple. In this case, I have to change my for her. Okay, because I lose my keys. Miss keys. In this case, she loses her keys. Sus llaves. Okay, that is the difference between my or her. In this case, I am using her because of the subject she. Okay, we are going to check a negative example. Pay attention. He is a boy. He says, I do not go to the park with my friend. Okay, I am going to report. Pay attention. I have to put the introductory sentence. In this case, he, because he is a boy. He says, I do not go to the park with my friend. I copy the same sentence, okay? I am going to report in indirect way. That is the same. I have to put my introductory sentence. He says that he does not go to the park with his friend. Okay, pay attention. In this case, I have to change the auxiliary because of the subject. I do, he does. Remember, you are going to use that in order to make questions and in order to make negative sentence according to the subject, he, she, or it. Okay, in this case, that is the same. I have to change my friend, his friend. Mi amigo, su amigo, referring to he. Okay, so check the chart of the pronouns. Revisa la tabla de los pronombres. Yo ya les envié eso. In this case, we are going to review how do you report questions. Okay, we are going to start with yes, no questions. She asked, do you eat pizza? I am going to report. He asked, remember, we are going to use he because of the person. He asked me, do you eat pizza? So I have to copy the exactly words. Yo copié las mismas palabras que él preguntó, la misma pregunta, in order to report in indirect speech. He asked me if I eat pizza. Remember, when you are going to report a yes no question, you have to use if or whether, okay? But we are going to use if. That is a little easier, okay? He asked me if I eat pizza. Él me preguntó si yo como pizza, okay? In that case, you are going to use the subject, the verb, and the complement, okay? In this case, you have to convert the question to an affirmative or negative sentence, depending on the questions, okay? We are going to use the repeated question with double H word, okay? It asks, where do you live? I am going to report in direct way. He asked me, where do you live? You only have to copy. In indirect way, he asked me where I live. Okay, remember, in double H word, you have to use the double H word. Okay, so he asked me where, then you are going to use the subject and the verb. Él pregunta, ¿dónde vives tú? Él me preguntó, ¿dónde vivo yo? Okay, that is the difference. So you have to pay attention to the subjects. Okay, and that is all. As I said before, today we are going to do some exercise in order to practice, okay? We are going to report that sentence in indirect way because that is a little difficult, okay? So we are going to do that. Anna, I am living in New York, so I am going to report what Anna says. Yo voy a reportar lo que Ana dijo. So I am going to start with the introductory part. Ana says that, Ana dice que she is living, ella está viviendo in New York. Okay, that is the way that you have to report. We are going to mark in another color in order to differentiate. So Anna says that she is living in New York. Okay, so in this case I change the subject. Okay, in the second example, my mother works in a bank. Okay, you have to pay attention to the tense. We are reviewing present tense. In this case we have present continuous. I am, she is, I am living, she is living, he is living, they are living, okay? So pay attention to the structure. In this case, I am going to report that the Peter says. In this case, he is a boy. I can use he says or Peter says. Okay, that is correct. He says, he says, remember, we can use that or not. In this case, I don't going to use that. Usted puede utilizar that si quiere o no. En este caso no lo voy a utilizar. And that is correct. He says his mother works in a bank. Ok, I am reporting. ¿Qué dice él? Mi madre trabaja en un banco. ¿Cómo lo digo? Él dice que su madre trabaja en un banco. Okay? In this case, I only change my for his. Remember, my for me, his for another person. Vamos a utilizar his para otra persona referido a un chico. En este caso, él dice que su madre trabaja en un banco. we are going to see that is a negative sentence. Julia, I don't like going out much. I am going to report. Yo voy a decir lo que Julia dijo. For example, I can say Julia says or she says. That is the same. In this case, Julia says that she does not like going out much. Ok, en este caso, Julia says that she does not like going out much. Julia dice que ella no le gusta salir mucho. Okay, pay attention here. In this case, I am using, in this case, don't. In this case, does not or doesn't. Okay, that is the same. In this case, I have to change because of the subject. I don't, she doesn't. Okay, remember the rule. We are going to do the same. That is negative. Sara, I don't have a computer. I am going to report. Yo les voy a reportar. She says, because it's a girl, ella dice, she doesn't have a computer. Ok, ella dice que ella no tiene una computadora. Ok, I am reporting. We are going to do the questions, so pay attention here. Pay attention, okay? The exercise number 8. Melanie, do you drink orange juice? How do you report that? ¿Cómo reportamos esto? Recuerde, we are going to use the introductory part. Melanie, in this case, that is a question, so we are going to use ask. Melanie asked if I drink orange juice. Okay, pay attention here. Melanie, ¿bebes jugo de naranja? I am going to report. Les voy a reportar. Melanie pregunta si yo tomo o bebo jugo de naranja. Okay, in this case I am using if because that is a yes/no question. Okay, I am going to change the color. And we are going to do the last exercise. Tatiana, does she wash the dishes? I am going to report. She asks me. In this case, that is a yes/no question, so I am going to use if. If she washes the dishes. Okay, pay attention here. ¿Lava ella los platos? And how do you report? Ella me pregunta, o Tatiana me pregunta, si ella lava los platos. Okay, pay attention to the change. In this case, there is a question, and in that part, I have to change as a affirmative sentence. If she washes, pay attention to the rules of the present simple, the dishes. Okay, and thank you, students. That is all for today. I am going to explain you what is your homework, okay? So you have to open your books in the page number 44. In that page, you are going to do the exercise number 1, the exercise number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5, okay? I am going to explain, those exercises are related to indirect speech present tense. Okay, in the exercise number 1, working page, read examples from the track 88 and say which sentence are direct speech, direct sentence are direct speech, or which sentence are indirect speech, reporting that something says. Okay, so you have to copy. If your sentence is direct, you have to put the letter D after, and if your sentence is indirect, you have to put the letter I. Okay, underline the words that change when we report what something is saying. Okay, so you, in that part with those sentences, you have to underline the change of the sentence. Okay, so you have to at the beginning recognize the direct speech, and then you have to recognize the indirect speech, and you have to underline the change in indirect speech. Okay, in the number 3, underline the correct options. Okay, in this exercise you have the rules and you have to underline the better response. For example, the reporting of the sentence is happening at around the same at a later time when the person is speaking. Okay, so you have to underline the same or at a later. Okay, to report sentence in these cases we use the past present tense, so you have to choose if you use past or you use present. Okay, you have to underline in order to make the rules. Okay, in the number 4, different volunteers are calling their retirement home. Write how the assistant reports what they say. Okay, so in that part you have to report. Okay, here you have the sentence, and in that part you have to report what they are saying. Okay, usted tiene que reportar lo que ellos dicen. In the exercise number 5, work in pairs. Ask and answer what the man says. Okay, in this case you have to create the question and you have to report. Okay, you have to create the question and you have to report what is they doing. Okay, for example, in the first, what does he say? He says. You have to imagine. Okay, usted aquí se tiene que imaginar, se tiene que inventar. ¿Qué está haciendo él? Él dice, he said that he is hungry. For example, es mi ejemplo. Él dice que él está hambriento. Okay, so you have to do that in the all of that exercise, A, B, C, D, E, and F. You have to report what is he saying. Okay, usted tiene que reportar lo que ellos dicen. Por lo tanto, usted se va a imaginar lo que ellos dicen y usted va a reportar eso. Okay, and that is the homework for today. Thank you, students. I hope that you have learned something else about that. I am going to send you the instructions through the platform, and that is all for today. Goodbye.